Welcome to Motiondeck, my new add-on for Blender. Motiondeck lets you bring the full power of motion graphics inside Blender. You can manage the entire motion process, from text to camera movement, image animation, backgrounds, and even 3D objects and lights, all from a single panel, in a fast, professional, and fully customizable way. But before we dive into the details, let me show you how it works. We have three main panels. The first one is General Settings, where we set the foundational values. The second one is Targets. This is the heart of the add-on. And the third one gives us control over camera physics and motion. In the Settings panel, we can easily load a reference file, audio or video, so we can listen to our voiceover while we work.
Salari faceva il cameriere nei ristoranti di sua madre.
This way, we can precisely sync our motion to the speaker's timing. We can choose which camera will be our main camera. But more importantly, we can assign text classes. Think of them as style presets for your text. You pick a font, a color, and a size, and then you can recall that style anywhere in the project. We can also set the output resolution from a list of presets: YouTube, Instagram Reel, TikTok, and more. We can configure the world from this same panel. Choose whether the background is transparent or a solid color. Set the background color and control the ambient light that illuminates our subject. Everything you need for the scene environment in one place. All of these settings can be saved to a JSON file and loaded into your next project. Your brand identity travels with you. Now, let's get into the most interesting part of the add-on: targets. Each target is a scene. When we add a camera in the settings and create a target, then press the Motion It button, the camera links to the entire Motiondeck system. It automatically frames the scene at the resolution we chose earlier. When we add a second target, the camera moves from the first to the second, automatically. We can choose a smooth transition or a hard cut. We have full control over timing. We set how long the camera holds on each scene, in frames. You see the duration, you adjust it, you press Motion It again, the entire sequence rebuilds. On each target, we can add a professional lighting scheme. We have several presets: backlight, top light, downlight, lateral, Rembrandt, 3-point diffuse, and neon buzz. We can also add a gobo light, load a black and white pattern, control the power, invert the mask. The alpha is handled automatically when the node is created. And we have a spotlight that creates a vignette effect on the background, a natural edge fall-off that adds depth to the scene. Each target can have its own background: a solid color, a gradient, a noise gradient, or a texture image. We can also add a grid overlay, lines or dots, with customizable thickness, color, and even a circular fade option. On top of that, we can choose whether the background material is diffuse or emission. We can load an image into the scene as an image plane and animate its entrance. Once an image is loaded, we have a built-in chroma key. Pick the background color with the eyedropper, and the cutout happens in 1 second. No Photoshop, no round trips. We can adjust tolerance, despill, and other parameters, all inside Motiondeck. We can also create a match cut image sequence, load up to 10 images, and control the speed at which the frames cycle. We can attach a 3D mesh or a collection instance to the center of a target. Once the object is set, we can choose from a range of animation presets, adjust the scale, or add a constant spin rotation to make the scene more dynamic. We control the animation duration and delay to match our timing. If we need more elements in the scene, we can add extra objects, up to 20 per target. Each extra can be an image, a text element, or another 3D object. Each one has its own animation, timing, scale, and positioning. And now, perhaps the most exciting part, the one that was missing in Blender. We have 2 text modes. The first is Caption, designed for titles and kinetic layouts. We type our words, pick a layout, and the text distributes, animates, and times itself. 14 layouts, 15 entry animations. The second mode is Sequence, multi-phrase. Phrases appear one after another, with configurable timing per slot. Perfect for subtitles, quotes, or narrative text. We can choose the duration, the entry animation style, the color, and position everything with our control handles. A small but important detail. We can enable depth of field on each target independently. If one target has depth of field and the next one doesn't, Motiondeck creates a smooth transition that brings the focus back to its original level. Per target control, automatic transitions. We also have full control over fade in and fade out for each scene. And here's the key. 9 independent keep toggles let us choose exactly what fades and what stays. Fade the text, but keep the lights. Fade everything except the background. Total control over how each scene exits. Back in the target settings, we can add advanced camera motion. Dolly gives us a push in or pull out, a forward or backward camera movement. Screen drift adds a subtle lateral float that keeps the scene alive even when nothing else moves. And then there's lyrics, a system within a system. The camera follows each word as it appears, which makes it perfect for lyrics videos, live text content, or commercial spots. With Motiondeck, we can manage an entire animation process inside Blender. Produce a full motion video without constantly switching between software. One panel, full motion. Motiondeck.